Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me today in this podcast on a subject that I think is a very eye-opening to people and would help people to address their health issues and understand the value of nutritional therapy. The subject is, why are nutritional guidelines misleading? Well, really, I'm going to talk about nutritional therapy in general. I talk about what is the value of nutritional guidelines, what is the value of vitamins and minerals in our diet. Should you be taking vitamins and minerals? Can you treat your health issue with vitamins and minerals? And what about the fact that most of these vitamins are just synthetic? And if I don't take these synthetic vitamins, what can I take instead? Those are the questions that I'll answer and help you better understand the value and the limitations of taking vitamins and minerals. Okay, so what's the value of these nutritional guidelines that we're reading about? Well, first of all, they're very wide, broad guidelines. So you could still be short in, say, B12 and be barely in range and have some minor fatigue. So taking a little B12 can give you a good boost. In fact, you could be even in range with something like B12 and take some B12 and get a boost, because B12 is very stimulating. And of course, many people take too many of these supplements, including B12, which can even show up in your blood work. And then the person can even, increase their heart rate, make their heart race too fast, etc. So, the ranges that you see, it's good to have somebody with experience to interpret, whether that's still suitable for you. Of course, in Ayurveda, everybody's very different. So a type of Vata type of person is light, dry, cold, thin, nervous, and has more issues with their nervous system due to Vata being dominant in the nerve tissue. So that type of person will do better with, supplements that are relaxing, like magnesium, for example. So even though, in your blood work, you could be in range, but, having a little extra magnesium could be very helpful for somebody with certain conditions, like anxiety and poor sleep, for example. So the ranges are helpful, but don't go by them. And second, when you get your blood work done, remember that many of these vitamins are water soluble, like the B vitamins. So they're only going to last like 4 hours in your body. So if you didn't have anything last night for dinner with any B vitamins, because most of the B vitamins are in the grains, and so you're doing grain-free diet, you're going to be short in B vitamins. Just like people who don't do any animal protein can be short in B12. Extreme diets all lead to nutritional deficiencies, which is why people on these diets are usually recommending a bunch of supplements to go along with it, because they know the limitations of their extreme diet. But my point here is that these water-soluble vitamins, the fat-soluble ones are vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin A. They're fat-soluble. They're stored in the liver. So you could eat no food with vitamin D for a few days, and you could still have sufficient vitamin D. And then again, sometimes people are taking too much vitamin D, and there's a type of vitamin D toxicity. And there's even a vitamin A toxicity, which is one of the worst supplement toxicities, because your body's storing it, so you can end up with too much. So when you read the blood work, if, say, you're low in a little vitamin A or vitamin D, you got to be careful taking too much as well. And I think there's been too much overdosing of many supplements, including vitamin D. So what about the value of just taking vitamins and minerals in general? Well, I think that's really the main question here. First of all, they're giving too much weight as a treatment. You have to understand, what are vitamins and minerals for? They're called supplements for a reason. They're supplementing your diet. Herbs and herbal treatments are not supplements. They're herbal treatments. I know people refer to my herbs as supplements, but they're not supplements. They're herbal remedies, and herbs have actions. Now, of course, all herbs are made of powder of plants, the roots, the stems, the seeds, the flowers, and there are exceptions where they're made from minerals. But even in the case of minerals, they all have nutritional value. Say, like we could say seashells are a can be used as a supplement, as a natural form of calcium. Well, it's not really a plant, but it's still an organic matter, and it still, of course, has vitamins in it, calcium, minerals, trace minerals. But all these herbs that you're taking, if you're buying herbs from, say, our sponsor, herbmanteas.com, you can see that there's herbs for every health condition, digestion, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, etc. And that's the way the world was made. All the sweet tasting plants are generally eaten, and all the bitter, poor tasting plants have medicinal value. They say every single plant has medicinal value. And even after tens of thousands of years, we still have not come to understand the medicinal value of every single plant. So we are living in, or we were born in, or created in an environment with all the medicine around us in the form of the plants. I mean, that's what the animals, they're well aware of what to eat for different conditions. So these plants, when taken as medicine, they become herbal medicine, the original medicine. Pharmaceutical medicine, that's alternative, new age. The original medicine was herbs. Now, nobody talked about herbs. I talked about vitamins and minerals, 100 years ago. These are new kind of discoveries. Well, with the discovery of vitamin A is kind of old. That's the order they discovered them: A, B, C, D. That's the order they figured them out. Now there was some, 100 years ago, they started discovering a few, like vitamin A was one of the first they figured out. But in ancient times, they never dealt with vitamins because the herbs themselves are all full of vitamins. Now, we can take herbs today that you're using for, say, anti-inflammatory herb, and then they analyze it and they found out, wow, this herb has a lot of vitamin C. It's got a lot of antioxidants, like amla berry, for example. Oh, this herb increases your white blood cell count. So, nowadays we're able to analyze these herbs, and we can see the different, vitamins, minerals, amino acids that are there. And from the science of nutrition, we're able to think, or understand, I should say, why that herb had that effect. Because nutritional science is just a way of breaking down the contents and the value of food, and now they're doing it with herbs. So you can be taking some herb to relax, but science has figured out, well, this herb amazingly has all this magnesium in it. So when you're taking a lot of herbs, you're getting a lot of vitamins. So you don't really need to take nutritional supplements, vitamins and minerals, if you were eating a healthy diet and taking herbs as a kind of become like a supplement. Because if you didn't have vitamins and minerals, and you're taking herbs for digestion, herbs for sleeping, herbs for relaxing, herbs for your blood pressure, then you're taking plenty of vitamins and minerals. Unfortunately, we all know that our soil is depleted nowadays. Even organic food doesn't mean that it's got good soil. It just means it's not sprayed with pesticides. So unless you're growing your own food, probably your food is somewhat depleted in vitamins and minerals. So that's the value of them. You're supplementing your diet with these vitamins and minerals. They're supplemental and filling in where the gaps. And now, of course, nowadays we have a lot of extreme diets. People like extreme diets and fasting, and so they try to make up for these extreme diets by taking certain vitamins and minerals. So I think it's just healthier not to be doing extreme diets, but it's better to do a nutritionally sound diet that has not good to eliminate like whole food categories. Like now grains are, the bad boy. Everybody's eliminating grains, mistakenly always called carbs, but they're referring to grains. So then you lose out on all the B vitamins and the fiber that usually comes with eating grains. And then there's other extremes where people have no animal protein at all. Then, of course, they have some deficiency there, B12 in particular, or D. And then there's people that are eating way too much animal protein, the radical carnivores, keto type, with their extreme mentality to stay thin and avoid all carbs. They'd have plenty of nutritional deficiencies, and they're all advocating to take vitamins and minerals to kind of supplement. A lot of people are taking extra protein shakes when really it's very difficult to have a protein deficiency. But I guess if you're just having smoothies and coffee and chocolate and mushrooms, you could have a protein deficiency. But if you're eating any animal protein a couple times a day, or just taking beans, like most of the population in the world is getting their protein from legumes, peas, lentils, dals, beans, then you're going to have sufficient protein. So often in America, for example, we take excess protein. This is why we get more tumors, cysts, polyps, growths, etc., because of excess protein. Of course, that excess protein also can lead to the excess uric acid, which leads to gout and, inflammatory arthritis condition. And too much uric acid over a long period of time can damage our kidneys. And that's why we see a lot of weightlifters getting kidney failure later in life because of their high protein diet. So, I think a lot of supplements are abused in this sense. People just want to take a lot of B12 to they're all jacked up. They want to take a lot of vitamin D just to cure everything. And they want to take a lot of protein because they're trying to build muscles. But excess vitamins and supplements, particularly when they're in the synthetic form, will create adverse side effects. So again, what is the value of vitamins and minerals? Supplementing your diet and filling in the nutritional gaps that we may have, but you try not to make those, of course, with extreme diet. You still want a balanced diet. And then to kind of, as a, supplement to some treatments. What I did not say is you're going to treat your health problems with vitamins and minerals. If you get online and you start, searching, how do I lower my blood pressure? You notice everybody's talking about take vitamins, take niacin. It's a vascular dilator. Take magnesium. It's going to relax your heart muscles. You can't sleep. More magnesium. You can't poop. More magnesium. Big doses. So you have low energy. Take some B12. You want to build, you feel weak, take more protein. So, people are using the vitamins as a treatment. That's the big flaw right there. Vitamins are not treatments. For example, people take magnesium for their bowels. Well, what magnesium is doing is it's relaxing the stomach muscles, or I should say the intestines and the large colon in particular, and then it just relaxes. And then, you'll have this bowel movement. But you take it too much, you get what's called lazy colon. And then, you have trouble even holding your bowels because you're taking so much magnesium that, you start to have kind of like loose stools after a while. But the problem is just taking magnesium isn't fixing the core problem, which if you're constipated is probably your diet and your digestion, your eating habits. Now, if you've been having constipation for decades, and constipation could be just one bowel movement a day, skipping a bowel movement every once in a while, you're going to create pockets or diverticuli in your colon, which could lead to diverticulitis, but may not. You could just be constipated for 40 years and have pockets in your colon, a little bit of a belly down there from all this excess fecal matter building up in your colon. If it gets around your appendix, and you could get appendicitis, If it makes it putreates and becomes infected, then you have diverticulitis, and of course you could end up with polyps and tumors and ultimately colon cancer from this long-term constipation and hemorrhoids. So the magnesium may be relaxing and keeping the bowels moving, but unlike an herbal remedy that can get in there and actually clean your colon out, you're not really cleaning your colon out. Many people taking magnesium every day for decades are still kind of blocked up. They become dependent on the magnesium because they never addressed the root causes and they never took any herbs to clean their colon out. So the problem with these nutritional treatments for chronic health issues is that, they're half measures. And I think it comes from the allopathic type of thinking. I mean, we're used to, let's take a pill for our blood pressure. And now instead of taking pills and pharmaceutical meds, we're just going to take some magnesium, some niacin, but they're still like pills. We're just popping pills trying to treat a health condition when it's a lot more complicated than that. So all these people online who say you should take this, take that for all the health issues, take this for your brain, take this for your immunity. Well, it's kind of a half truth. Sure, you could be depleted in those nutrients, and taking them, you may see some results, but you're not curing the condition. All of my patients for all health issues have been taking vitamins already. They're already at that point because they get online, they search for how to treat their blood sugar, how to treat their blood pressure, and they start taking these vitamins, and they can see some benefits, but only while you're taking the vitamin. You're not reversing the condition. It's just like taking a pill. You're taking the vitamin and you're getting that short-term benefit. And often people are taking larger doses than necessary. Like people take big doses of ascorbic acid. They call it vitamin C, but it's ascorbic acid in most cases. And, that will kind of boost up your immune system, create some more white blood cell count. But is your immunity really stronger? Well, not really. I mean, you're dependent now on the taking these supplements. So don't think that taking vitamins and minerals is going to treat your health issue. And if you've done an appointment with me or any good herbalist who's treating serious chronic health conditions for decades, we're not giving vitamins out. In fact, I'm generally telling people to stop them all, particularly if they have gas, bloating, irritable bowel, ulcerative colitis. I just tell them stop all these vitamins because they're interfering in the colon. It's not necessary. I'd rather see the person's state of health. I'm going to change their diet anyway. So I'm going to put them on a more, nutritionally sound plan. And in Ayurveda, we do have nutritional therapy, but we do it secondary. We treat all the health issues first because the vitamins and supplements are more preventive. They're not there to treat and cure. The herbs do the curing. The vitamins and supplements are, filling in the gaps in your diet and helping you to prevent having more health issues and filling in, of course, the nutritional gaps in your diet. So yes, I take a man's multi every day. I take a zinc every day. I take D every day. And I have even potassium, which I take sometimes, and other vitamins I take at times. During the winter, I may take different vitamins than I may take in the summer. But next big point is I would never take synthetic vitamins, and everybody's taking synthetic vitamins. In fact, when I was in college teaching a course, I did a course called The Limitations of Nutrition, and I did another course called Using Whole Food Supplements Instead of Synthetic Vitamins. And that's the two subjects I'm talking about right now. I just talked about the limitations of nutrition. I just explained it's not like they're valueless, but people rely on them, and they think they're going to reverse their blood pressure by taking a bunch of vitamins. For example, they're going to get rid of their joint pain by taking omega-3s. Well, let me tell you, I'm treating people every day for arthritis, and they're already taking plenty of omega-3s, and they still have the arthritis. Now, I don't, if they're taking a fish oil and a good, healthy omega-3, I'd tell them keep taking it. But because it's not synthetic, if it's fish oil form, but it's not resolving their arthritis. It's not getting to the known cause of toxins in their joints. And, of course, we get very confused about supplements. I'll give you one example I used to explain to people, because people make a lot of mistakes when they're picking supplements. A lot. It's very funny. For example, overweight people are just start eating bananas all the time because they want potassium, until I tell them bananas are a very fattening food. I mean, okay, you're a thin woman with low blood sugar, eat your bananas, but you're an overweight person with pre-diabetic, banana is the worst food in the world. But the person's eating it because of the because of the potassium. You see, this is how people make big mistakes with, starting to eat foods based on, it's got this vitamin in it. They do the same with chocolate too. Why eating this chocolate? But it's got antioxidants. It's got magnesium. But okay, sure, it could have those things, but chocolate's very stimulating. The cacao bean is inflammatory. So I'm dealing with a person who's maybe having insomnia, anxiety attacks, and arthritis. That chocolate is stimulating their mind, stimulating them. Many people told me they stopped chocolate at night and they started sleeping better. It's because it was stimulating them every night. So, and that's of course why we love chocolate. It's stimulating. It's an aphrodisiac. It has its place in life on Valentine's Day. But if you're eating it every night because you think it's got magnesium, this could be wrecking your health and making your arthritis worse. You should never eat a food just because it's got one vitamin in it. And anytime you go online and say, okay, 5 foods with potassium, 5 foods with magnesium, forget it. That's not the way you should be eating. Now, I finally thought of a nice analogy to help you understand this point. So, okay, just think, for ladies, if you were looking for a man, you're looking for a good marriageable man, a good husband, and and he sent you a little email before you met and said, look at my testosterone numbers. They're great. And would you marry that man just because he has good testosterone? I mean, of course, I'm sure the ladies want a man with a little testosterone. I mean, you need a little oomph and, fire in your man. So you're happy, you want your man to have some testosterone to make him manly, just like a man would want a woman with, her hormones balanced and some estrogen, etc. But you can't marry the man just because of the testosterone. You can't pick a woman just because she's got great estrogen levels. You see the point? I mean, there's a lot more to a man than testosterone, and there's a lot more to a woman than estrogen, and there's a lot more to a banana than potassium. I hope you got the point. That was my analogy. You can't pick foods just based on the fact that it's got a certain nutrient. People do this all the time. I mean, every single client is making this mistake. And people are just eating nuts all the time. Like, you can't be snacking on nuts all the time. And they always say the same thing. But I thought they were good. They've got omega-3s. They got good nutrients. Yeah, but you can't be snacking on them all day. It's going to ruin your digestion, fatten you up, give you a belly. And if they're dry, they're going to constipate you. So it doesn't even matter that they have all these vitamins and nutrients in them. You're eating them in an incorrect manner. You're overeating them. You're snacking on them all day. You're ruining your digestion. And you're doing it just because you think nuts are healthy. You have to understand most of that information was all marketing. For example, chocolate, we all know, was marketed by, companies selling chocolate and chocolate nibs and chocolate type. So they said, well, we're going to sell this chocolate. What can we use to sell it? Well, look at it. It's got all this magnesium. Let's just emphasize the antioxidants and the magnesium. So they repeat this all the time. The next thing you know, you're eating chocolate thinking you're having a health food. All of these companies do the same thing. They all refer to the vitamins and the minerals that they have, and then they talk about the benefits of these vitamins and the minerals. And the next thing you know, you're buying their food thinking you're eating something healthy. It could be healthy, but it could be a disaster for you. That's why you can see mixed information. Oh, some people say coffee's good. Some people say coffee's bad. That's how you get this mixed information, because it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at the caffeine, it's one thing. If you're looking at, say, some vitamin in it, it's another thing. So it's different ways to look at food, just like there's different ways to look at a human being. And you don't just look at their, one quality of them. I mean, humans are complex. You got all types of things going on to make you can't just, like I said, go marry a man just because he's got high testosterone. So stop eating food just because it's high in magnesium. Please, folks, stop that. It's really messing up your health. I see it all the time. Every single appointment, people are eating foods that are not suitable for them, making their condition worse, and they justify it because it's got a vitamin and mineral. So I'm glad we got past that. Get rid of that thinking. Now back to my other point. If you're going to take vitamins and minerals, and I said that I do because I want to supplement my diet, because I'm not eating a perfect diet. I'm still unable to grow all of my own food. I'm trying, but I'm not able to do it. I still go shopping. So I know my food is deficient, even though it's organic. And so I take my supplements every day. But I will not take synthetic supplements. I do not take synthetic D. D3 is a chemical, and I will not take it. And you can go read about it. There's D3 toxicity. People have taken too much, and they've had calcification problems throughout their whole body. The D3 is used for rat poisoning because it calcifies the rat's joints, and then it can't move and it dies. D2 was a chemical made before D3 that had some problems. It didn't absorb well. D1 also has some bad history. It turned out to be carcinogenic. And they've already working on D4. It's a chemical. So if you're going to take D vitamins, get it from a food-based source. There are food-based D3. You can get it from cod liver oil. You can get it from mushrooms. You can get it from under the oil, under the wool of a sheep. There's other sources of food-based D. That's the first thing. Stop all synthetic vitamins. Those little tiny D drops, forget it. Those are a chemical. In emergency, maybe fine. A few weeks, fine. A month, fine. But years and years of taking all of these vitamins, synthetic, isolated, chemical substances that do not say the word organic on the label are chemicals. Now, I have given another talk on the side effects of synthetic vitamins, so I'm not going to go into it here. But some examples are people taking too much synthetic calcium, getting kidney stones, people taking too much vitamin B, getting heart palpitations, people taking too much magnesium, getting kind of like lazy colon. And these are going to create side effects in the future because they are processed and made with industrial chemicals. If you saw the process, they're like scooping up a bulldozer's like scooping up a bunch of soil, and then that they know has got some mineral in it, and then they have to treat it with chemicals, toxic chemicals, to separate out all the minerals. And that's how they get it. Even if you're taking a real mineral, it's been processed through a chemical process. So they're anything but natural. But you have to go by food-based supplements. I'm not going to name all the brands here, but there's really only about 4 brands, and you can tell that they're food-based because they generally cost twice as amount. So you can go and type food-based multivitamin for women, food-based multivitamin for men, food-based zinc, food-based D. Go get those. Food-based magnesium, fine. And add that to your diet. You use the herbs to treat the health issues, Of course, you try to eat the balanced diet without being extreme. And the diet, of course, should match your constitution, your dosha, because each person's different. Men are different than women. Younger person's different than an older person. Overweight person should be eating different than a thin person. A warm person could be different than a cold person, etc. So I've spoken on this very a lot too, that eat right for your body type. Everybody should be eating an individual diet. Nobody should be telling anybody else what to eat. Anybody telling you what to eat, it's a fraudster. He's not professional practice. So he's just maybe telling you what he's eating or what he thinks he should be eating, or even worse, just what the person has concluded due to research. Well, when you're researching something, you obviously don't know what you're doing. That's why you researched it. So you got to be really careful of people who just say, oh, I researched, and this is my conclusion. Okay. It better you just deal with somebody that has experience that doesn't need to research. Not that there's no value in that research, but they may be making the wrong conclusions from that research. So this is the danger of all this information online. Research has said, take this vitamin, or this vitamin will help, or so then you start taking it, and then you're taking a synthetic vitamin. So, and you're going to end up with side effects of the synthetic vitamin, and you're not addressing the root causes. So what can you take instead of these synthetic vitamins? Well, whole food supplements, or better, take whole foods that are true superfoods. Now, of course, nowadays, everybody wants to call everything a superfood, but a real superfood is something that's highly nutritious. I'll give you a few examples. Spirulina, chlorella, these are planktons. They're got a whole range of vitamins, including vitamin D in them. So you can just take a teaspoon a day and get a lot of vitamins from these spirulina and chlorella, and other wheatgrass, also super nutritious, barley grass, alfalfa, very nutritious. And at herbmanteas.com, they have a whole range of nutritional herbal products, and some of them are using spirulina and chlorella. But another one, not for sale on Herb Teas, but probably the superfood of superfoods, which I try to take every day, is bee pollen. Bee pollen's got all your vitamins and minerals in it. So you could be taking bee pollen, spirulina. Even on Herb Teas, there's a nutritional superfood tea. There's nutritional superfoods for underweight people. There's nutritional superfood for overweight people. So there's specialized nutritional food-based formulas on herbmanteas.com. And so I would go and look at those, and at least look at those ingredients, and you will see, wow, I could be consuming a couple teaspoons of these every day and get all my vitamins cheaper than buying expensive food-based supplements online. And you need to be avoiding all of these synthetic vitamins, which everybody is still taking and everybody is still pushing. So I hope that helps you understand the value of nutritional therapy, and why nutritional guidelines today are very misleading, and the concept that you're going to treat your chronic health condition with just taking vitamins is really misleading, let's say. It's not that they don't have value, but it's misleading. That's why my college talk was called The Limitations of Nutrition. So you need to understand the limitations. Most of my patients come to me and they're taking 5 to 15 vitamins and supplements, and I usually ask them to stop them all. And then after their health issues are resolved, then I go back, sort them out, get rid of all the synthetic ones, put them on some whole foods and simplify it down, and then give them some food-based supplements from herbmanteas.com. And of course, I'm giving these supplements based on analyzing their nutritional deficiencies through signs and symptoms. There's also, this is taught even in the UK, identifying nutritional deficiencies through signs and symptoms, not just blood work. So this is a more advanced form of nutritional analysis, and that's what I use. Of course, the blood work helps. if we can see it. But the problem is, like I said earlier, a lot of these vitamins can change day to day. So really, you better just look for the signs and the symptoms that you're depleted, try to adjust the diet, and maybe take some supplements to fill in. So one, get off all of your synthetic vitamins. Forget them. Don't think that they're treating your chronic health condition. Get some whole food supplements, and then get some food-based supplements from herbmanteas.com. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope that helps you better understand the value of vitamin and mineral supplementation. God bless you all. Thank you very much.